Now, Man City are next in action against Saudi Pro League side Al-Hilal in the last 16 of the Club World Cup. While City enter this game after winning all three Group G games to finish in top spot, Al-Hilal have also yet to lose at this summer's tournament. They drew their first two games against Real Madrid and Red Bull Salzburg before beating Pachuca 2-0 in their final Group H game to finish second place in their group. Now, Al-Hilal have a number of familiar faces in their squad, don't they? Of course, Joao
Yeah.
Cancelo will turn to reunite with Man City in this game. They've also got the likes of Ruben Neves, Kalidou Koulibaly, Milinkovic-Savic, to name just a few of those. And they're also managed, of course, by Simone Inzaghi, now former Inter Milan boss, who's he's made his team. He's only been there a couple of weeks really, but he's made them very difficult to beat early on in this tournament. Man City will be regarded as favourites, of course, to beat Al Hilal. But what sort of challenge, Stephen, do you think City are likely to face in this one? Could this be a potential banana skin, or are you confident that Guardiola's side can get the job done in Orlando?
Yeah, look, I expect City to win. The vast favourites for this, and in the game they won, against Pachuca, it was still pretty even in terms of shots and possession and all that kind of stuff. 2-0 was a great result for them. But we can't deny the fact that, a massive result against Real Madrid, just a 1-1 draw. But, they consider themselves apparently the Real Madrid of Saudi Arabia. So that would be a massive moment for them. And as you said, those names there, I mean, I'm looking at the team that they've lined up against Real Madrid. And, Renan Lodi, Koulibaly, Cancelo, um, Bono in goal. Oh, don't make any puns, Stephen. I can't help it. I won't do it. Milinkovic, Savic, Malcolm, Leonardo. There's so many quality players there that would play in the Premier League. There's genuinely elite level footballers there. Look, there's still a massive step up against Manchester City, and the level that they play against every week doesn't compare to the Premier League in terms of intensity. But they've got a manager now in Inzaghi who's a multiple Champions League final reacher. Not necessarily a winner, but he's one of the biggest managerial prospects in world football, and it's an incredible coup for them. And this is the kind of platform they wish to be on. Like, we cannot take this lightly as City fans, and I'm sure Guardiola won't. But this is where they want to be, because this is potentially almost a justification or validation for the entire Saudi Arabian sporting project right now. They're up against Real Madrid and they drew. Now they're up against Manchester City, the most successful team in the past 10, 11 years in English football, if not European football. And, they're going to be measuring themselves against that. And of course, with Joao Cancelo as well, there is that, that added extra spice. And I think for what I was reading earlier, they've got even like, they've got board members that used to be at Manchester City Football Club, so there's ties there as well. Look, they're going to play, cautiously, but with attacking intent. You can't play as like, Neves and Milinkovic Savic and Malcolm and Cancelo and not get forward. That's how they play. So I'm expecting them to come at Manchester City. They do play attacking style in their league. It'll be a different story against City, of course. City should win this. They should do, and hopefully comfortably, because obviously Al Hilal probably don't even really match up to Juventus that well. But there's no guarantee, you cannot, leave Cancelo, for example, 20 yards out the area, or even Milinkovic Savic unmarked and expect to get away with it, because they're the kind of quality that will punish you. And I expect City to take this very, very seriously, and it'll be something again approaching the strongest side.
Well, yeah, I was going to come to that then. In terms of the lineup, of course, Guardiola's made several changes throughout this tournament. 8 changes were made for that most recent game against Juventus. Of course, Rico Lewis is still banned. I think this is his third and final game that he'll miss. Claudio Echeverri's injured. He's set to miss the rest of the tournament. It looks like that's a big blow for him personally. But who else do you think could be named in the starting lineup for City in this one?
He's not sure. I don't think still hasn't found the lineup that he's looking for. Yeah, I think it's one of those things. That's a very subtle YouTube reference there. Couldn't help it for Bono. I think Guardiola is like he's trying a few different ideas. I think we'll see Aït Nouri again. He was really impressive. I'd be amazed if Doku doesn't start as well, because that link up is something that you want. You know, um, you want it to grow and give it another chance. I think we might see Haaland start this one. Rodri, I think Rodri's probably going to start again. Actually, I don't know if he'll play most of the game, but I think looking at the lineup the other day, I'm not envisioning an awful lot of changes. Vardiel, I think, will come back into the side. I think that's almost a given there. He wasn't involved at all the other day. I expect he'll start this. I think there's a good chance of one of Foden or Shirky starting as well, potentially called Gundogan. I'm not sure which ones will, but I don't think they all will. I think there'll be about 4 or 5 changes from the team. Haaland, almost certainly. I'm gonna say, I think Foden or Shirky.
Tricky
I
one,
think,
isn't it? Very
yeah, it's
similar.
difficult. I don't think he's gonna
Yeah,
start both of them, but I think he's gonna start one of them.
yeah.
Uh, And I think the way he's using at the moment, so he's using substitutions in the second half to sort of kill the game off with the humidity because obviously they're more used to it, of course, the Saudi side, but it's a necessity, and I think we'll see. Yeah, Vardio, I think will certainly start. I think Haaland will start. I'm going to say Phil Foden will get a start as well, potentially Gundogan as well for Bernardo Silva. I don't know where Shirky comes on for who, but I think he will do. Potentially Savinho. I know he's not necessarily the right winger, but he'll play the way that Savinho played as a sort of inside channel. And I think Nunes and Aït-Nouri will get another start each actually, and Vardy will probably be alongside. He could literally just change it and give Kusanov a game or Vitor Reis, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did that because I think as much as he respects the quality of Al-Hilal, I think he'll trust his centre backs there. Ake could play as well, to be fair.
Mm.
Tijana Reinders and Rodri, I think will probably start again together. Yeah, because I think that works, and I think Guardiola won't do as many changes this time round, but there'll be a few. And look, there's many combinations. As I was saying earlier, there's so many different ways for Manchester City to attack a side now. You can have, if you want, inverted wingers, or wide forwards, so to speak. You can play Foden and Shirky, or Marmoush. You can have big man up front and Haaland to hit. You could sit back and just power, be strong in midfield and play Rodri, Reinders, Nico Gonzalez. Big midfielders who are strong. You could have inverted fullbacks in O'Reilly or Rico Lewis, or you could have the wide ones in Aït-Nouri and Nunes. There's just so many different options. You got your ball playing centre backs if you really want them in Vardio. You got if you want to you want to push everyone further forward, use the pace of Kusanov on the counter to get back. There's loads of different options, and I really like it. I don't think we'll know Guardiola's best side. I don't think he will either until a few games into the Premier League season. But I'm expecting it to be at least half of the starting lineup against Juventus with a few changes.